in September. They told Guinea's junta to propose a new timeline by the end of July or face economic sanctions. The head of state appointed Benin's former president Yahi Boni as new mediator and urged the Guinean junta to work with him and quickly proposed a new timetable. Beyond that, economic sanctions will be imposed, Casibro said. South African State Power Utility ESCOM said on Sunday it would extend daily power cuts all through next week as generation capacity shortage continues. Striking workers, delay in maintenance and cracking old thermal power plants have forced the monopoly power to supply of South Africa to implement one of the worst power cuts in more than 2 years, as the generation capacity shortages persist over the next few weeks. Load shedding will continue to be implemented at various stages, the utility said in a statement, cautioning that it will still take a few weeks for the power generation system to fully recover to pre-strike levels. The company will implement stage 6 level of power cuts from Monday afternoon with lower levels in the remaining hours, it said. Stage 6 is a level of power cut on an 8th level of system, which essentially means ESCOM will have to take off almost 6,000 megawatts of capacity from the grid. And based on other levels, South Africans could see between 6 and 8 hours of power cut in a day. ESCOM has a nominal generation capacity of just over 45,000 megawatts, out of which 3,384 megawatts is unplanned maintenance, while another 18,390 megawatts of capacity is unavailable due to breakdowns, it said, forcing the company to implement the power cuts. While the company had been regularly implementing power cuts in the country since the beginning of the year, the power supply scenario worsened from last week as the company failed to agree on a wage deal with its workers. This led to the workers going on strike. While any workers have returned to work, it is still not enough to fill the gap in maintenance delays and restore power supply, the company had said earlier in the week. West African leaders are meeting in Ghana's capital for a summit at the Economic Community of African States, ECOWAS, while rising insecurity in the Sahel questions over how the bloc will move to restore civilian rule. We are rising insecurity in the Sahel and questions over how we move to restore civilian rule. Following 3 separate military coups across the region are set to loom large. The meeting on Sunday is Accra's home, come as the number of armed attacks across the Sahel continues to rise, with the separate security crisis fueled by a separatist movement in northern Mali in 2012 and a devolving security situation in the country's central region, perpetrated by ISIL and Al-Qaeda-linked groups, showing no signs of abating. The violence, which has spilled into neighboring Burkina Faso and Niger, as the wider region was displaced 2.5 million people in the last decade, and piqued concerns of attacks spreading into the coastal West African states, with analyst Adib Sani telling reporters that there were at least 19 attacks in Ivory Coast, Benin and Togo in 2021, up from 0 in 2019. The situation has been cast into further uncertainty by the withdrawal of French troops from Mali, where they had been stationed since 2013, and the country's pivots towards Russian mercenaries. Critics also contributed the continued violence in the region to poor governance, following military-led coups in Mali, Burkina Faso, and Guinea that have strained relations with the Western allies and regional organizations. At the ECOWAS summit, West Africa's leaders are expected to assess efforts to nail down timetables and other guarantees for restoring civilian rule in the 3 countries, including possible sanctions. Mali underwent military coups in August 2020 and May 2021, followed by Guinea in September 2021 and Burkina Faso in January 2022. All 3 have since been suspended from the bloc and were not invited to Sunday's meeting following the 2021 coup in Mali. ECOWAS imposed a series of tough measures, including a trade and financial embargo on the country after the military government unveiled in January a plan to rule for 5 years. With the sanctions straining Mali's already beleaguered economy, the military last week approved the plan to hold presidential elections in February 2024. The vote will be preceded by a referendum on a revised constitution in March 2023 and legislative elections in late 2023. A representative of the ECOWAS mediator in Mali hailed the plan to the AFP news agency as enormous progress, but some critics have voiced concern over the new electoral law that allows officials from the military government, including coup leader Colonel Assimi Gota, to run in the presidential election for their part. Burkina Faso and Guinea have so far escaped harsher measures from ECOWAS, with the bloc declining to rule on sanctions at June 4 meeting and instead giving leaders another month to negotiate. Burkina's military-led government has proposed a constitutional referendum in December 2024 and legislative and presidential elections in February 2025. Visiting Ouaddougou for the second time in a month on Saturday, ECOWAS mediator and former Niger President Mohamed Assoufou praised the lead of the military government, Lieutenant Colonel Paul Henry Sandaogo Damba, and his officials' openness to dialogue. However, political groups allied with deposed President Roch Marc Christian have denounced the plan. Meanwhile, Guinea's military-led government has refused an ECOWAS mediator and instead announced a 36-month transition, a period that African Union Chairman and Senegalese President Macky Sall has described as unthinkable. Still, Guinea's post-coup government said recently it wants to reassure its ECOWAS brothers of its commitment to undertaking a peaceful and inclusive democratic transition. Also expected to be discussed at the summit on Sunday is the economic toll caused by high inflation and product shortages, which have been driven by the Russian invasion of Ukraine and have disappropriately affected Africa. And we go for a short break, after which we return for more news on your premium channel, Atlantic Television Network. Do stay with us. Don't go nowhere. You're welcome back. Voters in Papua New Guinea are heading to the polls to cast ballots on the first day of voting in the country's national elections. Some 10,000 police, armed and correction services personnel were mobilized for Monday's vote. Australia has also deployed 130 soldiers with transport aircraft to help secure the lengthy voting process across the country of 9 million, which has a history of corruption and election-related killings. Voting is scheduled to take up to 18 days, and an outcome is not expected to be clear until August. Transparency, we want accountability, and above all, we want a safe, fair, and secure polling period, Prime Minister James Marape said after voting. Election rivalries can quickly spill over into bloodshed in Papua New Guinea, especially in the remote and mountainous provinces. During the last vote in 2017, Australian National University monitors documented more than 200 election-related killings and widespread serious irregularities. This year, 15 election-related deaths have already been recorded. According to Papua New Guinea police, in the highlands province of Anga, a candidate was charged with shooting and killing the supporter of a political rival in June 26. Police told local media. Marape considered in an end-of-campaign message that there was still rampant corruption all strata of public service. The Prime Minister, who has promised to make Papua New Guinea the richest black Christian nation, said there has been a lack of development despite the country's God-given resources. Admitted there is much more to be done for the country, said Marape, who heads the Pangu party. He faces a stiff challenge from his predecessor, Peter O'Neill, who reigned as leader 3 years ago under pressure over endemic corruption and perceived failure to spread mining wealth to the people. O'Neill of the People's National Congress Party has pledged to attract private investment and revive the resources industry. The country boasts a large deposit of gas, oil, gold, and copper, and is an exporter of forestry and agricultural products. There are worrying signs around our nation that the election has been very poorly prepared for, and interference seems rife. O'Neill charged. I hope the good efforts of our security forces at all levels can ensure we have free, fair, and safe elections. Analysts said the new leader will have to cobble together a coalition government in the male-dominated 118-seat parliament, which has had no women members since 2017 polls. Elections are always messy and chaotic, and they can get very violent, Jessica Collins, Pacific researcher at the independent Sydney-based Lowy Institute think tank, told the AFP news agency. In an ethnically diverse country with more than 800 languages, analysts said voters are less interested in national issues than the material benefits candidates can bring home to local communities. People want to know what their candidate is going to do for them and for the village, the real hard currency stuff, Collins said. Further complicating the process, the electoral roll is not up to date, said Pacific analyst Henry Ivarachu at the Australian National University. So the whole integrity of this election is already under question, he said. The government that emerges from the elections will face significant charges. Nearly 40% of the population lives below the international poverty line, according to a 2020 report by the World Bank. The resources and agriculture-dependent economy posted a weak recovery last year, the Asian Development Bank said, after being battered by the COVID-19 pandemic, with only about 3% of the total population fully vaccinated. At least 5 people have been dead and dozens of others injured after at least 3 earthquakes with a preliminary magnitude of more than 6 hit the province of Hormozgan in southern Iran. 2 of the strongest shocks were registered at magnitude 6.3, but the one that inflicted all the casualties is thought to be an initial magnitude 6.1 quake at a depth of about 10 kilometers below the surface that hit the early hours of Saturday. All of the victims died in the first earthquake and no one was harmed in the next 2 severe quakes.
It's the people making the difference in our time on ATN Icons. Here, we present you legends celebrated for their heroism in different fields and serve as role models today. ATN Icons, showing every Sunday 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Atlantic Television Network, StarTimes DTH channel 194, ATN Live on Google App Store, Facebook Atlantic Television Network, YouTube Atlantic Television Network, Instagram Atlantic TV Network, Twitter Atlantic TV Net. For sponsorship 0810 634 1777. ATN Icons, celebrating the giants of our time.
The people, the candidates, the party, the campaigns. What really makes an election? The people, the candidates, the party, the campaigns. What really makes an election here? Enough of the rhetorics. It's time for issue-based politics. 2023 elections. Who are the candidates? What do you know about them? Take a seat, relax, and join us for the 2023 elections on Atlantic Television Network, StarTimes, DTH, Channel 194, or ATN Live on Google Play Store and all our social media platforms. Twitter is at Atlantic TV Net. Facebook and YouTube is at Atlantic Television Network. On Instagram is at Atlantic TV Network. Elections 2023 from Mondays to Fridays at 8 p.m. Election 2023. We the people have a stake.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-the-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
You human
on the point of order.
Honorable
They are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but
Today, our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics.
Nobody's ambition is what the blood.
I have fought a very family.
Natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
Television gathers the world again. The International Emmy Award is an award bestowed by the International Academy of Television Arts and Sciences in recognition to the best television programs initially produced and aired outside the United States. The awards are presented at the International Emmy Awards Gala held annually in November in New York City. It attracts over 1,200 television professionals. The first International Emmy ceremony was held in 1973, expanding what was originally a U.S.-only Emmy Award. The International Academy of Television Arts and Sciences announced the winners of the 49th International Emmy Awards at an in-person gala event in New York City. The gala was attended by television chief executives and professionals from around the world, including Atlantic Television Network's chairman, Dr. Chinyere Igwe, and was hosted by Nigerian-born American actress and comedian Yvonne Orji at the Great Hall of Casa Cipriani. International President and CEO of the Academy, Bruce Paisner, declared that we are delighted to be able to gather the global television community in person again in New York to celebrate the world's best television. The diversity and geographic spread of the winners demonstrates once again the universal power of great storytelling and performances.
I would also like to thank the Academy and everyone on the team who worked so hard to make this event possible. It's a great event, and we're so glad to be back at this event in person. We truly live in amazing times, and I want to explain in 2 quick sentences why I believe we live in amazing times.
The latest of the awards was the 49th edition, the International Emmy Awards 49th ceremony, which took place on November 22, 2021 at Casa Cipriani in New York City. It's open for all categories December 9, 2020 and closed February 17, 2021. It recognizes excellence in television programs produced and aired outside the U.S. and non-English language U.S. primetime program between the dates of January 1, 2020 and December 31st, 2020. The nominations were announced on September 23rd, 2020 with 44 nominees across 11 categories, spanning a record number of 24 countries. 1 special award and 11 Emmy statues were presented by the International Academy during the evening. The 11 winnings in the 2021 International Emmy programs and performances span 8 countries of France, Israel, New Zealand, Norway, People's Republic of China, Thailand, the UK, and the US. The 2021 winners of International Emmy Awards are Best Actor, David Tennant as Dennis Nielsen in Des, United Kingdom, New Pictures ITV. Best Actress, Hailey Squares as Jolene Dollar in Adult Material, United Kingdom, 50 Fathoms, Channel 4. Best Drama Series, Tehran, Israel, Donna and Shula Productions, Paper Plane Productions. Best Comedy Series, Call My Agent, Season 4, France, France Television's Netflix. Best TV Movie or Miniseries, Atlantic Crossing, Norway, Better Film, NRK. Des, United Kingdom, New Pictures ITV. Best Arts Programming, Kubrick by Kubrick, France. Best Documentary, Hope Frozen, A Quest to Live Twice, Thailand. 2050 Productions, Netflix. Best Telenovela, The Song of Glory, China. Tencent Video, Oasis Studio. Short form series, Inside, New Zealand. Best non-scripted entertainment, The Masked Singer, United Kingdom. Bandicoots, Scotland, ITV. Best non-English language US primetime program, 21st Annual Latin Grammy Awards, United States, the Latin Recording Academy, Univision. Multiple wins by country, United Kingdom 3, France 2. Multiple wins by network, Netflix 2, ITV 2. This year's ceremony was hosted by Yvonne Orji, and she lived up to her billings alongside a cast of presenters including Vanessa Williams, Method Man, Joshua Jackson, Brian Cox, Piper Perabo, Daniel Monet Truitt, Chike Okonkwo, Aidan Quinn, Brian R.C. James, Emerald Tolbia, Luciana Hawk, Felipe Santana, Henning Baum, and Angelica. Former NBA star Dirk Nowitzki presented the Directorate Award to Thomas Bellew, Managing Director of German public broadcaster ZDF. The award gala was, however, live-streamed on the International Academy's website, ime.tv, from 7 p.m. Eastern Time. The International Academy of Television Arts and Sciences is a membership-based organization comprised of leading media and entertainment figures from over 60 countries and 500 companies from all sectors of television, including internet, mobile, and technology. The Academy's yearly schedule of events includes the prestigious International Emmy Awards held in New York, the International Emmy Kids Award at MIP-TV, and a series of industry events such as Academy Day, the International Emmy Award Television Festival, and panels on substantive industry topics. The International Academy recognizes excellence in television produced outside of the United States, as well as U.S. prime-time programs produced in languages other than English, with the prestigious Emmy Award. Currently celebrating programming across varied areas, including arts programming, current affairs, comedy, documentary, drama series, news, non-scripted entertainment, short-form series, telenovela, and TV movie miniseries. It also recognizes excellence in performance and kids programming. The making of Wish 99.5 FM and Atlantic Television Network. The renowned American coach, speaker, and author of the bestseller Awakening the Giants Within, Anthony J. Robbins, said, "Setting goals is the first step in turning the invisible into the visible." This best describes the birth and storyline of Morrison Communications' Wish 99.5 FM and Atlantic Television Network broadcast brands. Morrison Communication Limited is a 100% wholly Nigerian indigenous private company incorporated in 2003. The company has a three-pronged line of business: ICT, events, and media. Her media engagements commenced in 2003 with the establishment of Wish newspaper and 2005 with Wish International magazine. It has established and operated several internet centers